Welcome back to episode 128 of the Guardian Project podcast. I'm your host, Andy, and coming home from MTG Vegas this last week, I watched the glorious sunrise live time.
Oh.
And then I lost 3 hours.
Well.
The sun came up on the flight.
True.
But it was a really good flight back on Delta.
So there's got to be like a card that like where you get an extra turn and then you skip your next turn. Isn't there one that's like that?
There's lands that do that. Yeah, there's that Magosi the Water Veil.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think you have like Aeon counters, you gain a turn, and then you have like you skip a turn, and then you can get another turn.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's yeah.
It didn't feel so bad coming home, but it was quite the flight.
Yes. And I'm your other host, Mike. And this Thanksgiving, I'll be growing as everything is sacrificed into my stomach. Just call me Coylevold, the hey, first bring me some mashed potatoes and stuffing. Yeah, how about that one? I get thumbs down.
We're even getting a thumbs down from our producer.
Well, he doesn't know who Corvold, the fake cursed king, is.
And this is the podcast where we talk about all things Magic the Gathering.
But mostly Commander.
We have a lot to unpack this week. We have some announcements, but I want to talk about MTG Vegas first.
Yeah, how was it?
It was my first time to Vegas. It was a lot of fun. So the flight out, I took Spirit.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
And that was an experience.
It makes you appreciate your life.
My flight
living.
back on Delta was really good. Although I didn't feel like we fell out of the sky during the landing, which is what I've said. And I don't know if I've ever said it on the show, but I feel like the reason the flight is so much cheaper for Spirit is because they put just enough gas into that plane that it starts to just the descent is actually them running out of gas.
Yeah.
Because the last time I flew with Coyle on a flight, I got that experience where you're on that ride at a circus, that ship where your heart just like is up or like your stomach's up by your heart. And it just, and that's how I felt like 8 times during the landing on Spirit. The last time wasn't so bad, but the seat was terrible. My husband had a middle seat.
Oh no.
It was rough, but on the way back, it wasn't so bad, but Vegas was a lot of fun. I got to play ton of Magic.
Nice.
But I do want to talk about some of the things that I picked up. So I specifically went to get a lot of signatures, and I have a thing for artist proofs now. You know, you get one and then you kind of get sucked in.
You do.
It's kind of like tattoos. You get one and then you want a lot more. So that's how I am with these artist proofs. So I went to Elena Danner's booth, which I know I mentioned, I joked about getting a bunch of access tunnels signed.
Got to do it.
And I did have 10 access tunnels signed. Really great. And then I had a missed opportunity. I do not how I missed that her artwork is some of the Ravnica weekend promo lands that I use for my cube.
Nice.
So I did not bring them with me, but I did find out afterwards that you can mail them to her and have them signed. So
nice.
I may have to take her up on that. But I also found an artist proof Azorius Plains and got that signed.
Very cool.
So now I have that for the cube. Her booth was crazy busy the whole weekend. And I said, I wonder what specific card. And I realized, she did the artwork for Jeweled Lotus. Yeah. And there were a lot of people there looking for that playmat. The number of times I heard, are there any Jeweled Lotus playmats left?
Yeah.
And there were quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that. I went to Howard Lyons Station and I got a lot of cards signed, bought a lot of new tokens. Ooh. I spent a lot of money, and all the booths, they were definitely there for Commander Whales. They were like high end foils, lots of dual lands.
Sure.
I didn't end up picking any of the individual expensive foils up that I wanted, only because I was like, I'm not sure how the rest of the trip cost is going to be, because I know Vegas is super expensive.
Gotta save some gambling money.
So I did that. I went to the Venetian, and that was a lot of fun. Did a little gambling. Gambling is not my favorite thing to do.
What did you play?
We played slot machines.
Okay.
And there was, oh my gosh, the main one we played had Buffalo on it. It was
nice.
It was just it would yell Buffalo if you got a bunch of Buffalo.
Awesome. I like it.
So that was the main machine we played. I did not win much. I think in the end we were up maybe 50, and that's a win.
Hey, that's definitely
a win, because if you go anywhere for dinner, that's about how much you're spending per person. Food there Fantastic.
Mhm.
And then we did a few touristy things. I said, I have to go do some touristy things while we're here. Because I mean, I don't know how often I'm going to be able to go to Vegas. And
Right.
if they do MTG Vegas again or like a Magic Fest Las Vegas next year, obviously I will go.
I'll be there.
But I got to cross off going to the Welcome to Las Vegas sign,
Nice.
which was an experience.
Yep.
There was an old Elvis there who really wanted to get money for you to take a picture with him.
Of course.
And I did not want a picture with Elvis.
Okay.
So I managed to dodge it as he was asking people in front of us. But the line is so long. So there's a line to go take a picture at that sign.
Oh.
So it's kind of like no one's organizing it.
Sure.
It's kind of just the thing you do.
Yeah.
If you want to do it faster, you can take a picture of yourself from the side of the sign.
Oh,
so
fair.
if you saw my pictures on Twitter or if you're on our Discord and you saw, I think I posted them in there. If I didn't, I will. My pictures from the side, because I did not want to wait an hour in
Right.
that line. I mean, there were probably 50 people in front of us,
Yeah.
but the problem was it was always like groups of 10
Mhm.
and each person wanted their own photo. And then it was like, well, now I want us 3 and then us 7 and then the 2 of us.
Ugh.
And like there was one group who was there for almost 15 minutes alone. And I said, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
We're going to go up here and take a picture up here. And then we're going to go back. There was also a football game on Sunday. I
Yeah.
think the Raiders played.
Yep. Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know who
I don't know
the
who
other
they played
team
against,
was.
but traffic was crazy
Yeah.
with the football game getting out, but we Ubered everywhere and we were just far enough off the strip that there was no noise. There was no crazy commotion,
Mhm.
but it was just far enough off that you always had to Uber in because I think the walk, while only being 2 miles,
Yeah.
maybe a mile and a half, it's still like a 30-minute walk.
Well, and it's going to be 2 miles walk there. Then you're going to be walking around a lot, and you're going to have to walk 2 miles back. I get that.
Right. So I met a lot of other content creators. I have now met 3/4 of the Scrap Trawlers. I met Lenny Woolley, so it was very exciting.
Nice.
I met Brando from CCO. I just met a bunch of people, and
Mhm.
I didn't want to specifically list all of them because it's nothing. I just don't remember every single person. I tweeted the majority of the time when I met them,
Mhm.
but it means nothing if I did not mention you just now because I did not write a list. And I don't have my Twitter in front of me
Well,
to
that's
go
fair.
over each individual person. But I met so many cool people. I got to sign playmats. People that
Ooh.
were there, they said, every person I play with, I want to have you sign my playmat.
That's
So it's
fun.
like taking away, that really cool memory. So but the command zone, totally packed. That was
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
There were modern and limited events. As I understand, every single event was sold out, which is great because that means that we will likely get another one. I think this is likely a tester event to
Mhm.
see how in-store play is going.
I will have to say, I looked at the top 8. I know we're not a modern podcast, but I looked at the top 8 of modern, and it looked really nice how diverse it is, and it makes me really want to get back into the format.
I don't know. Was it 7 or was it 8 decks? I don't know
It
if
was
they were
7.
all. It was 7.
Yeah,
So
I
two
think
of
there were
them were the
two.
same.
I think there were 2 creativity decks, 4-color creativity. But Rakdos Aggro is what won the whole thing, which is fun. And it's going to make your Ragavan prices probably go up. So I'm personally excited for that.
Exactly. So Vegas was a lot of fun.
Did you give away any of the tokens that you brought with you?
Oh my gosh, I gave away so many. I got to meet some of our patrons. That was really
Nice.
great. I got to meet people on Twitter that I had never met before, and I gave out a bunch of our tokens. I gave out a bunch of Guardian Project cards.
Nice.
I got to meet people that were very excited about that as well because the general comment that I got back was Guardian Project is really expensive now.
Yeah.
And
It's like a $10+ card.
It is, and the foils I think over 20 now.
Oh. Yeah.
And we had some foil proxies with me as well. I brought both foil and non-foil and asked, would you rather have foil or non-foil? But
What was the consensus? Did it?
It was a mixed bag, to be honest. It was a mixed bag. So I gave those out, and hopefully we see some of those things popping up pretty soon. But the other thing that I learned, and we can announce now, is that the biggest thing that I got requested was, do you have any of your playmats? I would love to get one from you or buy one from you. And so we can, in fact, confirm we are going to be ordering our playmats. We will be creating a storefront on our website, guardianprojectpodcast.com. We do not have timing yet, but we have confirmed pricing.
Mhm.
We are going to be ordering those soon. And as soon as we have those in, there will be a huge announcement, obviously, on the show. We will do it on social media. So all of you who have been waiting to get a playmat from us, you will have that opportunity
Yes.
Hopefully maybe in the beginning of the year. I'm not sure if it'll be before the end of the year. We'll be ordering before end of the year, but it may not be ready.
Yeah, we're confident that it'll be ready by the beginning of the year. The only thing that's holding us back would be the production side of it, which we don't have any control over.
Correct.
So
the other thing is we're going to try to order both colors. So we have two different colors. We have blue, and then we have the it's not black, but it's like a dark gray. It's like a dark gray color. Right now, the same number are in existence of both colors.
That's true.
And we will see who wants what. Coyle prefers the dark gray. I like them both. I like playing with the blue on stream because I think it's a little bit more vibrant.
I have two lights sitting literally right next to my play mat. Yeah. So the dark gray one's not as bad for me.
Right.
But I think you're right. I think the blue one does show up better.
But the green color pops a lot more on
the black. It's true.
Because the blue one has white font.
Right.
So we also have some secret layers. The first one being Secret Layer Mischief. So this is actually on sale now. It's on sale until 9 a.m. Pacific time, November 28th. But this is a secret layer that has a Swords to Plowshares in gold foil etched, Grim Tutor in traditional foil with silver laminate, a Blood Moon, which is gold foil etched, Cut to Ribbons, gold foil etched, and a Teferi's Puzzle Box with traditional foil and a silver laminate. So these are unique style. I like them a lot. I do run I have all of these but a Cut to Ribbons in a deck.
Which Cut to Ribbons
actually a good card. Yeah, I just don't run it.
It's a Rakdos game ender, honestly. Although I don't know if the Ribbon side can actually hit all opponents or only one opponent, but it's a good X spell game finisher.
Yeah, it says each opponent loses X life.
So, it could be a win con in your, Rakdos Infinite Mana World Fire or World Gorger Dragon combo or something.
I could.
If you don't have the outlet on your commander or something. It's a good X.
It's also a cool card just to show off.
It's from one of the best planes ever.
Oh my gosh, Almond Cut.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, so Grim Tutor's solid. If you don't have one, this is actually another reprint.
Yes,
Grim Tutor became affordable. Swords is played all over the place. Blood Moon, sometimes you just gotta, shut down those greedy mana bases.
Sometimes you got a Blood Moon.
And sometimes, like this happened to me just a couple weeks ago, I lost to a Blood Moon because I was playing Noyandar, and I think I have 10 basics in there now.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a single one of them. I had an out if I could get literally one island. Yeah. I had an individual Cyclonic Rift. I could have just bounced it. And couldn't.
I was trying to think of your.
So I guess I'll just die.
I was trying to think of your interaction with enchantments in that deck. It's not much. I don't think
it's not. It's just it's bounce just permanence in general.
Counter it before it comes down.
Before it comes down, and I couldn't. But this is actually very good. I think this is a solid secret layer if you're looking for just some cards that are good playables.
Yeah, love that puzzle box. That's my favorite card out of this set is that puzzle box. So now there's another secret layer that is a lot bigger, and it's not yet for sale, but it will be very soon.
November 29th through December 23rd, 9 a.m. Pacific time, both days.
So this is our new Super Drop, Super Secretversary, Secret Layer, Super release.
It is Secretversary Super Drop 2021. It's very super and versary-ish.
It is. With these Secretversary drops, we get a ton of stuff that's coming with it, and it's all going to be on sale individually at the same time as their giant bundles. The first one is our crossover with League of Legends, the Netflix series Arcane, which I know we both have seen now.
And if you have not, I know nothing about League, which is funny, and Coyle knows a lot about League. I've never played League. It's just not something I got into. The show, you do not need to know anything about it. Also, fantastic. The art style, it is definitely, if you are looking for this, it is more, it's geared more for adults.
Yes.
Language, the tone,
the
violence, just what is happening. So if you're listening and you go, oh, great, I'm going to watch this with my 6-year-old, maybe watch it ahead of time, scan it, figure out whether or not you want to do that. But if you're an adult listening to the show,
yes,
you should watch it. It's really good.
Yeah. If you are a League of Legends player, the most you're going to go is like, oh, they just named that champion. Like, I know that, and that's like the most that'll happen. It's not going to spoil anything.
I was a little
for you,
worried I wasn't going to get into it because I don't know anything about the game, and there's going to be so many nods to these things. And from what I've heard, and you can confirm, there are some cool references, but it does not matter if you know it or not.
Right. Correct. So that's the first secret lair
with Path to Exile, Unstable Harmonics, Counterflux, and the Hex Core, which are two of them have that Godzilla treatment. So it's an actual card.
So Unstable Harmonics is the really exciting one here because it's Rhystic Study. We have a Rhystic Study reprint that isn't a Judge promo and isn't in Jumpstart, I think was the last time it got reprinted.
So we definitely need this. You get a new artwork choice, which is very important for a lot of people based on the artist. So I'm excited about that. And then the Hex Core is a Thran Dynamo.
Yeah, which is cool. It's a cool artwork.
Yeah.
I always kind of hated the giant steam pot that Thran Dynamo was. So this is kind of cool to have the alternate for Thran Dynamo. And then Path to Exile features a character, actually the main character, Jace from the show. And Counterflux, our awesome counter spell that can overload to counter
all spells on the stack that you don't control.
That's right. So with that, we do have another secret lair, Arcane, and it's basic lands from a few different
screenshots of the show.
So that's kind of cool. None of them are full art, but we'll be able to get these in non-foil and foil. So if you really like the theme of the show and everything, maybe you want to pick up these basic lands. The next one is Welcome to Castle Dracula. So these are some full art, alternate art, same way with the Godzilla treatment for some Dracula cards. So we have Exquisite Blood as Hunger of the Ancient One. We have Night's Whisper as Night Feeder's Visitation. And we have Phyrexian Tower as Dracula's Tomb. So Exquisite Blood, absolutely great reprint. Phyrexian Tower reprint, it's okay. It wasn't super, super expensive, but like to see it. Night's Whisper, this is going to be really cool for all your Pauper decks and your Commander decks that want some extra bling. The artwork for these cards are absolutely beautiful, fantastic, going all the way to the border and featuring some Dracula artwork.
And then after that, we have full art lands, the Dracula lands, which these are, I think what I read online is these are the second lands to feature a character in the land. My understanding is that in Ixalan, there were some lands that had Jace on them.
That's true. Jace totally lost.
So these are very cool as well. If you're looking for, this art style, you can pick these up in non-foil or traditional foil as well. There is like a creepy lurking person or a demon or a vampire on all of them. I think my favorite's this forest with just a vampire standing on top of a carriage going down in a creepy forest.
I love the swamp with the giant bat wings coming out of the vampire that's floating over the coffin.
Oh, that's not a demon. This would make sense that it's a vampire.
I think they're all Dracula.
That it's turning into a bat. Are these all Dracula?
Well, they're all vampires, at least, I think. They're called the Dracula lands. So I assume they're all Dracula.
Let's say that they're all just vampires because it does say vampirize your deck with this incredible set of Dracula-themed basic lands. So they're all vampires.
Yes.
This would make sense.
The next secret lair we have is featuring our favorite character from War of the Spark, Thibblethip.
Oh.
Completely, utterly, and totally lost. So this particular secret lair features 5 cards: Path to Exile, Well of Lost Dreams, Frantic Search, Intruder Alarm, and Sheldock Isle, all creating a panorama of a Where's Waldo picture, but you're trying to find Thibblethip instead.
Yeah, Where's Waldo here? I'm not sure if it's Where's I think it's Where's Wally in other places.
Okay.
I think we're the ones that call it Waldo, but it's it's find the Thibblethip, and I assume, and I did not find Thibblethip actually yet on Neat, but I assume Thibblethip is hidden somewhere on each of these cards.
Yeah, I found one. At least it was a homunculus in like a cloak or something. I did find one time. So I could say that there's at least one in the 5 pictures. I hope there's one in each picture. But you might need to get the entire panorama to find it. I don't know. But maybe you'll find out. Intruder Alarm, though, I really like that as a reprint here. Obviously, Path to Exile, we've already seen this
Frantic
reprinted
Search,
once.
I play that in Noyandar. I mean, this is just cool art.
Well of Lost Dreams to double up your card draw when you gain life. Really good card in Alloro. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. I don't know if I have a place that's going to fit all of these cards at once. A blue-white deck of some sort that life gains. I'm sure you'll find it.
And next we've got Crocodile Jackson's Monstrous Menagerie. This comes with a Ravenous Chupacabra, Managorger Hydra, Pathbreaker Ibex, Teamer Sabretooth, and a Winding Constrictor.
Love the Pathbreaker Ibex reprint here.
Yeah, very cool.
And we have Far Out Man. This is an all blue spells secret lair of Aether Gust, Counterspell, Fabricate, Factor Fiction, and Mystical Tutor.
After that, we have the Pixel Snowlands. You are getting a snow-covered plain, snow-covered island, snow-covered swamp, snow-covered mountain, and snow-covered forest with a pixelated artwork. These are very cool if you're looking for this theme.
Yeah, they have a nice, like a Windows frame with the X button and the maximize, minimize. It's very unique. Now, the one that we as Commander players are very, 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 very excited to hear is the Heads I Win, Tails You Lose entire Commander deck for Secret Lair, featuring 5 alternate art and reversible cards, reversible art cards. So they have a
art
front,
on
back,
front and
side.
back.
Available both in foil and non-foil, and comes with a coin flip because this is a Zinder Split and Okon deck. This is actually Gavin Verhey's personal deck, or actually personal deck list. Obviously, it's not his personal deck. He probably couldn't afford to make it and send it out to all of us that are really interested in getting it.
But wouldn't that be cool?
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
But we have flip side art for Zinder Split, Okon, Propaganda, Krark's Thumb, and Stitch in Time. So just Krark's Thumb being reprinted here, and the really cool art that it has makes it worth it for me to buy this entire deck. There's also a few cards that are in the deck that actually do have significant value. I know some people are already talking about the value of the Secret Lair versus the value of the cards that you're going to get, and it's already blowing it out of the water. I think you get like $200 worth of cards for this deck.
I think it's actually more.
Okay.
I think it's almost $350.
Right.
The cost of the deck, if you just bought it at just like a basic price. Now, I have a Zinder Split and Okon deck. Even I would like to pick this up. The art, these reversible arts are very cool. Hopefully we can get some more variants and coin flippers out there playing with this deck.
And just remember, your Krark's Thumb isn't just being used in this, but you have Krark the Thumbless from Commander Legends. So if you need a Krark Thumb card, I'm sure your local game store is going to be buying the Secret Lair like ours does and splitting it out. And maybe you don't want to spend the $100 that is going to cost to get this particular deck, and maybe they'll be selling the Krark's Thumb for $10 or something like that.
And that was the last one. You can also buy them in bundles. This is there's a lot of really cool stuff this time around. So again, November 29th through December 23rd. Make sure you pre-order if you're interested in any of these secret layers. Now, before we continue, we have to thank our patrons for making all of this possible. Thank you so much for supporting our show. And if you would like to support our show, you can head to patreon.com/guardianprojectpod.
And if you're looking for another way to support the podcast, whatever platform you are enjoying the podcast on, if you could subscribe, rate, review, and leave comments, we would be much appreciated.
And if you're looking for us online, you can find us at theguardianprojectpodcast.com. You can find our social media on Twitter at GuardianPod, on Instagram at Guardian Project Podcast, and our gameplay videos at youtube.com/guardianproject. And if you want to email us, you can email us at guardianprojectpod@gmail.com. What are we chatting about today?
Well, this week in the States is the week of Thanksgiving. So this week we are going to talk about some things that we are thankful for that have happened since the last Thanksgiving. We know there's a lot of podcasts out there that talk about the most thankful cards that they're going to talk about, or that they liked, the cards that they're most thankful for. We are going to do that, but we're going to go beyond as well. And we're going to talk about some of the other things in Magic that has happened in the last year that we're thankful for.
Let's give thanks. All right. We're going to talk about some cards here. We each picked a few cards that we liked that came out over the last year. Why don't you start us off with one that I think we can both agree is wonderful?
Honestly, looking at this whole list, I think we both agree on most of these things. At least I hope so, because I agree on your stuff too. But from Modern Horizons 2, we got a colorless assembly worker called Academy Manufactor. Academy Manufactor, I'm very grateful for this colorless token producer that can go in every single one of my commander decks. For 3 generic mana, you get a 1/3 assembly worker that says if you would create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create one of each. Super combo centric card. You can tutor it up with so many different either creature tutors or artifact tutors. Very important for some of the Modern Horizons 2 commander decks. Like I know you have a Lannis cryptozoologist deck that really wants this.
That's where I have this right now, at least.
Yeah, my Abzan tokens deck absolutely loves Academy Manufactor. We know that with Crimson Vow, we got a new type of artifact token that doesn't synergize with Academy Manufactor with our blood token, which was a little disappointing. But we still had some investigate stuff that came out as well to help out with the Academy Manufactor. And
it fits really well with Guillaume Master Chef, which was one of the creatures that came out in the pre-con decks. It works with Asmorano, Mordecai Diced, and Nikuldakar.
We know
Corvold, Lannis. There's a lot of legendary creatures that really like this. Chief Jim Hopper, which is going to be coming out soon, investigates when it attacks.
Yes.
So it will matter in the future as well.
And we know that AFR had such a huge thing in the Rakdos colors for treasure token. So that came out after Modern Horizons 2. So I'm not sure if Wizards knew how much synergy we were going to get there. But
Pirates loves this.
Massive.
Pirates that are making treasures often. And there's a lot of cards that just also generically make a treasure when you use it. I mean, if you're playing Dockside Extortionist anywhere, which we know is very rampant, great card. Academy Manufacturer loves that.
Well, and there's even the new landfall creature from Modern Horizons 2, the uncommon, where you get to choose whether or not you create a treasure or a food token on landfall rather than investigating. The way that the Innistrad permanent was, Innistrad rare. So very cool that we have so much synergy for this rare, not a mythic, rare card from Modern Horizons 2.
I'm going to go to an uncommon, and I am going to continue to push my agenda for Access Tunnel. So I know I talked about it earlier. I talked about it last week. I tweeted the picture with all of my signatures on this, but Access Tunnel is one of my favorite cards that has come out in the last year. It's a land that taps for a colorless mana, or you can pay 3 tap it to give target creature with power 3 or less unblockable. So it cannot be blocked until end of turn. I can't tell you how often I use this card. And of the 1,277 legendary creatures we have at the time of recording this, Access Tunnel works with 772 of them as they're physically printed. So I am not taking into account legendary creatures that power and toughness are star, because that is very board state dependent. But as they're printed, it works with 772 of them. Now, I understand that you're probably wanting to run a Rogue's Passage, which is pay 4 and tap it to give a creature, any creature, it doesn't matter, can't be blocked until end of turn because you're pumping your creatures.
Sure.
I get it. But I am running this in Lazav, the Multifarious. I'm running it in Feather. I'm running this in... I'm running this in a lot of decks because a lot of the time the creatures that I need to just get damage through, I run it in Finn the Fangbear. They're power 3 or less.
For sure.
And you can give it unblockable and then you can pump after.
Absolutely.
I understand you're not going to run this in your Zergo Helm Smasher Voltron deck because Zergo's not going to ever be able to have this used on it.
Starts with 7 power.
It starts with 7 power. And I understand if you're playing a Boros equipment deck, you're equipping before you go to combat, unless you have instant speed equip, which is possible.
Or you could just do it. It says until it can't be blocked this turn, so you could do it before you start equipping everything.
Correct. Too. Then you have to have the mana afterwards to pay for it. Right. So I assume it's probably not. It's not probably the easiest way to do it.
Sure.
But if you have a creature that says equip costs are 0, like I think Gwen, Sir Gwen, which is specifically with Knights, you could run Access Tunnel and then equip to the creature after. I really love this card. I can't say I really don't have much bad to say. Other than sorry, it doesn't work on creatures greater than power greater than 3.
And it comes in untapped and taps for a colorless mana. So it already meets our criteria for a good utility land.
Yep.
I know I could run this in my my Arden and Kodama deck because I can make Arden unblockable before I pump it up to over 20 power. Maybe with a Colossification, maybe with an Unholy Might, not Unholy Might. Whatever
there's a Colossus Hammer too. Do you run that?
X green instant spell. I don't run Colossus Hammer.
Oh, but it doesn't move that for free. It moves. Oh no,
it would. Yeah,
it would move. But you're not running it.
I'm not running it because it doesn't get him to 21. Got to run Colossification, get him to 22. But no, Access Tunnel definitely being underutilized. So also from Strixhaven, I know I picked another rare and I picked another colorless rare, so you can fit it in every single deck. But it's a card that we talked about being like the next staple goes in every deck, like a Rhystic Study or a Smothering Tithe at one point. And this is colorless, so it literally can go in every deck, and that's Wandering Archaic. For 5 generic mana, you get a 4/4 Avatar. This is whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, you may pay 2 generic mana, or they may pay 2 generic mana. If they don't, you get to copy that spell, and you could choose new targets for the copy. So this keeps counter spells at bay, because then you can just counter the counter spell. This it makes it so whenever someone cultivates, you're going to be ramping too. There is another side to this card. Explore the Vast Lands, 3 generic mana sorcery. No one's casting this.
There are people, I have seen it.
I know. Those people ruin my statistics.
Yeah. See, I think I've only ever run into a Wandering Archaic once, maybe twice.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if I think we're also running into new card release overload. We're getting so many new cards that at this point, I can tell you that I've put many new cards into decks that I know are going to be wonderful with that commander. And I haven't run into them. You don't find them. And I'm getting to the point where I'm just shy of 300 games this year since I've even added some of these cards.
Yeah.
And I still cannot tell you whether or not they have done work for me, some of them. So specifically the ones that I added to our list today are ones that I have physically run and can tell you have done work and are proven. Yes, thank you. I know these work well.
I can say for sure that Wandering Archaic in my Sultai Clones deck is very good, because no one's willing to pay 6 mana to have me not copy their spell 3 times, because they don't have that amount of mana. I mean, it draws board wipes immediately, because board wipes, copy a board wipe is still going to wipe
it's still
the board.
Just a board wipe.
But it's the fact that I can pull a board wipe every single time I play Wandering Archaic. It's been very impactful in my commander experience.
Yeah. Speaking of board wipes, my first rare here, Culling Ritual. Sorcery, 2 black green. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Add black or green for each permanent destroyed this way. So this is my pick for my favorite, almost my favorite card from this year. This one is a close second to that Access Tunnel. The number of times you're just hitting generic rocks that are out, and you're hitting creature tokens. You're hitting. I think the last time the lowest Culling Ritual I think I've ever had was like 6. So I'm netting 2 mana and removing things that might be a problem. I'm keeping my opponents off of rock ramp, which isn't what I'm intentionally trying to do. It's just, it can unfortunately be a blowout on one person versus everyone else. But sometimes I've run it and I've gotten, 12 mana. I've talked about it just online previously. And that 12 mana can turn into, I completely changed the entire, tone of the game.
Oh yeah.
And I have become the villain because I've been able to do that, play down. I run this in Dina Soul Steeper.
Yep.
I run it in Gerard Golgari Lichlord, or at least it was added, and I'm not sure if it's currently in there. I'm always tinkering with that deck.
Yeah.
But I added it, and it's never really been bad.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would. I've never had this in a deck. I really need to stick this in my Abzan Tokens deck. But I've only had it played against me once, and for me it didn't feel bad because I think I lost 3 permanents, and it's like whatever. But if I lost 3 permanents and 3 other people lost 6 permanents, that person's going to have a lot of mana. They're going to have enough mana to put down to hard cast an Eldrazi from their hand. I mean, it's very significant.
Yeah, you can really change the tide of the game. So Culling Ritual. That's my second pick.
So I know the last 3 cards we talked about have been Strixhaven, but this next card is also Strixhaven. It's also a rare from Strixhaven, so I'm doing a really good job there, picking only rares that I really like. But it's one of my favorite commanders that isn't actually one of my commanders, and that is Cody Vociferous Codex. That's right. I pronounced it right for the first time.
I'm so proud. I'm shedding one tear.
For 3 generic mana, you get a 1/4 legendary artifact creature construct that actually has 5 color identity because it has the abilities you can't cast permanent spells, which personally I don't care about. And then you can pay 4 generic and tap it and add Wooburg to your mana pool. When you cast your next spell this turn, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile an instant or sorcery card with lesser mana value until end of turn. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put each other card exiled this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. So Cody is not a companion thing that says you can't play with permanents in your deck or anything like that. So I play a very normal 5 color commander, mana base and everything. Get Cody out there. cast any of my 4 mana spells to go find my Eldritch Evolution, to sacrifice Cody and go find Brash Taunter. So Cody is one of my picks for cards I'm grateful for because I finally got my secret Brash Taunter commander deck.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's very fun. And my final pick here is a mythic actually from Midnight Hunt. This is Lear, Disciple of the Drowned. So I did not think I was going to like this card as much as I did, or as much as I do, but it is a 3/4 human wizard for 3 blue. It's a spells can't be countered, and each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard has flashback. That flashback cost is equal to that card's mana cost. I run this in my Kaza Royal Chaser deck, which, funny enough, I forgot existed. A few months ago, I was looking through my decks and I said, I haven't played this in a really long time. And I changed it from being a budget deck, which we initially did on our stream. So there's a video of that game, or some of those games, on our YouTube channel. But I changed it to non-budget. Lear seemed perfect because it's just it's a Spellslinger deck anyway. And I wish maybe I had kept the statistic, like how many times did you win when you also cast Lear personally. But the number of times I cast Lear, the spells can't be countered thing is a little bit of a nombo. I do have a few in the deck that I would have loved to have countered somebody's spell. But playing Mana Geyser, then Lear, then a Mana Geyser, and then every single instant or sorcery that I had already cast previously in the game is exactly what I want to do. And I am very surprised that Lear is still only an $8 or $9 card right now. I feel like this card could be one of those cards that in a few years this is going to be 20. I know nothing about finance. Don't listen to me. It's just one of those cards that, in my opinion, Innistrad Midnight Hunt, from what we've seen online, was okay. I loved it. Some people, they were more receptive to Crimson Vow. So I'm not sure of how much it was open, but we know obviously every set now is they're all being wildly opened. It's not like sets from the past.
Still being printed too.
But this card, really great. And if you haven't played with it, try it out.
Yeah. I like the idea of using cards like Narset's Reversal and stuff that aren't actually counter spells, but pseudo counter spells with him. Very cool. Okay, so let's move on to, we talked about cards that we're thankful for. Let's talk a little bit about some Commander precons. Are there any Commander precons from the last year that we are actually thankful for? Personally, I'm going to say yes. I really like the zombie precon, the Will Help precon that we got in Innistrad. I like the vampire precon that we got with, the zombie with Midnight.
The zombie with Midnight, vampire with Crimson Vow.
Yep. Not a huge fan of the Spirit deck or the Coven deck that came out with both of those. But we also had a set of 5 commander decks and a set of 4 commander decks that came out in the last year. The 5 being from Strixhaven and the 4 being from AFR. I thought they were good experiences, sealed, but I don't know if I was super impressed by a ton that we saw in those particular cycles.
I think in those, the one that I'm most thankful we have now is Oskir the Reconstructor, which is the Lorehold precon. So it gave me it didn't give me, because I'm not running it, but it gave the community and in general, it gave us another take on the red-white theme. So it's not Boros, this is Lorehold. And although it still focuses on artifacts, this is more of a reanimator strategy. It reminds me personally of the mono red Duretti deck that I used to run, where I would recycle things. I would throw them into the graveyard, bring them back for way cheaper. I know you have this deck and you're running it with Mesmeric Orb.
It's a mill deck.
It's a mill deck. It's very fun.
You're one of the only people that can say that say that.
Because I was going to beat you on the next turn, and it
took like 3 turns to mill everyone out. People saw it coming. It's just not much you could do.
Right. I was running. I remember the game vividly because I was running Dina Soul Steeper, and I was 1 turn away from also taking you out. And when you made the extra 2 Mesmeric Orbs, I sadly looked at my short stack of library, and you milled me by 1.
Ooh.
By 1.
Feels good.
So I said, my upkeep, I die. I guess I die. When I hit my upkeep, I didn't have an instant speed way to make you lose life, but I think you would have died. I think you were at seriously like 2 life.
I was very low.
And so I like that. We have seen a change from just generic equipment And I hope we continue to see more in these precons.
I did like Brina, the Demigod from Strixhaven, as a card, not necessarily the deck. This is the Silver Quill commander because it just gets bigger and bigger. Bigger kind of reminds me of Ishai, the partner that's blue-white that gets bigger with every
Edric,
spellcast.
the Edric that we've wanted.
Yeah. So
some people do want Edric,
well, and
some people don't.
And it's fun because it's in black-white, which isn't a super popular color combination in Commander. So it pushes people there. The AFR sets, we got a couple more 3-color commanders, which I really like. Nothing that really stood out to me, though. So thanks for the 2 commander sets that came out with the Innistrad, because I think those were my favorite. Yeah.
Okay. So we want to talk about our mechanic that we like the most from this year. And we actually both have the exact same mechanic that we liked, which is again from Strixhaven. So this is Magecraft. Magecraft is an ability that says whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, do something. So we've seen cards like Archmage Meritus that says whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, you draw a card.
Yeah, Stormkiln Artist, you're going to get treasure tokens. Clever Luminancer is basically getting double prowess. 28 cards in total with Magecraft. And then we found combos that work with these. They were great for standard. They're great for commander. Looking forward to keep putting them in decks.
Yeah, I'm running Archmage Meritus. That card's really great. So I have not been upset by any of these.
Witherbloom Apprentice is a combo with the Chain of Smog that we got this year. So yeah, really cool mechanic that really changed up the commanders. So next up, we are going to talk about some characters. We're going to talk about characters that we are happy with
where their
in the
story
Magic
is.
universe.
Yeah.
Personally, I really like that Liliana is still alive and still being a part of the Magic universe as Professor Onyx. And hopefully we'll get to see more of her and her. I guess she doesn't really battle with her demons anymore. So we'll see what the next step is.
Yeah, she does not. I liked this was difficult since we've got a lot of LGBTQ representation that have been coming out recently. But I picked one of the side stories that I liked a lot that came out with Midnight Hunt. So this is Vadric, Astral Archmage. So Vadric's an astronomer that researches the movements of the moon. So I like that we're seeing more LGBTQ representation in the lore. He's gay. He's married to a spouse who we haven't had a card, but their name is Hylan. This was actually part of that old Stick Fingers side story. So if you're reading the story, that's where this came from. Was it the most impactful story? I would say no, but the story also references an elder who is trans. From Lamholt, named, I think it's Malin, Malynn. I'm not sure if it's Malin or Malin, but the story says that they were raised a boy and chose the life of a woman. And honestly, just having these things written in the story is important to me. It might not be important to everyone, but I think it's important that it's there. Inclusion. And I could go on. We've got other characters like Chandra and their character identity, Helena and Elena, Nico Eris being non-binary. Mm-hmm. So I think I picked Vadric because I just thought that was a cool side story and what we got to see, but there's plenty and I like where that story has gone. And I hope we just continue to see improvements.
Very awesome representation. So now we're going to pick our favorite secret lair that came out within the last year.
All right.
I had trouble picking between 2. I think I am going to go with Sebnikin and Art Series.
Yeah.
I think just because of the cards are what set it over the top for me, because I really needed a Damnation.
Yeah.
Another one, a 6th one.
And honestly, I haven't seen a bad art from Seb McKinnon. And bring it on.
Yeah.
Keep bringing them on.
Fantastic.
I liked the philanthropic side of Secret Lair Blackest Magic. So I think the drop was really impactful. I think it was executed and received well. It came with Cultivate, Kaya Ghost Assassin, Path of Ancestry, Ponder, Soul Ring, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and Shalai, Voice of Plenty, all illustrated by a Black artist with a portion of those proceeds going to Black Girls Code. And if you didn't listen or you don't remember, it's a nonprofit organization that focuses on providing technology education to increase the number of women of color in STEM fields through exposure to science and technology. Honestly, I love a good philanthropic endeavor.
Yeah.
Extra Life. Sign me up.
Yeah. I love the fact that it's doing STEM because that's really big personally to me.
It is big to you and one that I did not go into and kind of wish I had.
You would have been successful in it.
I would have?
Yeah.
I could be a project manager.
Oh,
in a STEM field.
So I'd hate you is what you're saying. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I will schedule your calendar. Coyle, I am circling back on this question.
You also assigned 6 hours of meetings to me, and I haven't had time
I did.
to do it.
On a call. I would say, Coyle, let's park that for a minute and let's go on to the next topic, and then we'll circle generic corporate lingo.
Yeah.
I'd be one. I'd be okay.
You'd be great.
I'd be okay.
Okay. So now we want to thank people. So it's people. I know we talk about characters. Some of people that we're thankful for. And number one, absolutely number one, always, the people that we're so thankful for are our patrons.
Thank you so much for your support. It doesn't do justice just to say thank you, but we really would not have been able to do what we've done without you.
Yeah. So as you know, there is exclusive content to you, the patrons, that you can get for $1 a month, including deck techs of Noyandar, Shirei, Gerard, Aluna, Sethron, Arden and Kaidel, Nyambi, Livio and Ludovic, Angry Omnath, Ikra and Sakashima, Jaren, Arden and Kodama, along with
a lot of deck techs.
Yeah, there's 12 deck techs available for $1 a month right now. But we also have another exclusive video
that we talked about over a year ago.
Yeah, so
and it's ready.
Our producer Ryan learned how to play Magic the Gathering via Arena, and we reacted to his gameplay. So that video is in the works to get released very soon, and it will be a patron exclusive video as well. So for $1 a month, if you're not a patron, definitely you should go on and check out all of those videos. Yeah,
we've been able to do something for fun that we like to do to provide additional content for our patrons. So thank you so much for that. We also want to thank all of our other content creators that we have created content alongside. Not going to go through a major list. We have been on your stream. And I feel bad leaving someone out. It's like earlier when I started mentioning names, I said, no, can't do this because I'm just not going to remember everybody. Right. But we did stream earlier this year. We get to join streams often. I will be on another stream this week. And thank you for showing up when we post in our Discord that we're going live, when we tweet, to support the Guardian Project podcast on the other streamers' channels where we can give them a boost. They get some follows, they get, some viewership, and they can help grow their channel. And we appreciate that they do the same for us. And when we stream, they show up and share our content and like it.
Yeah. Also want to thank the Magic the Gathering Content Creator Awards because we did get nominated for Small Audience Podcast. Looking forward to competing in that event again next year.
Yeah, if we get nominated next year, maybe we'll take it down.
It was so nice just to be nominated though. Make it to the final.
It was. There was, and seeing our name amongst the group of creators that were there, I was like, ooh, sometimes you feel like you have imposter syndrome, and sometimes you're like, wow, we're here.
It feels good.
Someone wanted us here.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then to everybody in our Discord that hangs out with us on a daily basis and plays games with us, it doesn't matter if you're a patron. Our Discord is open to all. We've got some great moderators. We've got content creators in there. We've got our patrons. We've got non-patrons and just friends from real life as well that just hang out in there.
Yep.
We love chatting with you guys all the time.
A few judges that answer rules questions all the time for absolutely no pay and response.
Thank you so much to Chris Wolf and to Judge Anthony, who are in there answering questions when I also don't know how something works.
Yeah. I try to and get it wrong all the time.
The number of times I want something to happen one way and I try to explain my point, and I go, but what if I did this? I'm like, no. That's not how the rule works. Okay. But we also have a few other things to be thankful for here. I think we can all say that we are thankful in the last year that Throne of Eldraine rotated out of Standard.
Oh, thank God.
I don't want to see Red-Green Adventures ever again. I don't want to play against the Questing Beast ever again.
I thought
maybe in 6 years I would go back, because Throne of Eldraine Draft is actually really fun.
Yeah.
But I was done with where we were in the Standard environment.
I was a little afraid that food was going to take off a little bit more in Modern, and I would have to continue to see Feasting Troll King all the time from Throne of Eldraine. But now I only have to worry about Brazen Borrower in every single blue deck still. But that's okay. What I'm thankful for is the Rule Zero conversations I get to have with my Osgear mill deck, and people aren't adverse to it because it's an Osgear deck until turn 3 when I have 3 copies of this.
Yeah, Phoenix. Okay, this is that meme, the Drake meme, where yes, and it's like Phoenix, no, Osgear, yeah.
Hey, that one doesn't look like it's directly going to mill me, and then it does,
and then it just does.
But you already said okay during Rule Zero. Sorry.
And the final item that I want to, we both want to thank everybody for and be thankful for is that we've been able to see all of you with the return of safe in-store play.
The Gathering is back.
The Gathering is back. I was very fortunate to make it to MTG Vegas. There were a lot of people that weren't. I've been able to see people at our LGS. We've been able to get together for a draft with our group of friends. And next year, hopefully it just gets better.
Absolutely. Oh, it can't get worse, right?
I would not have said that out loud, but
well, now it's recorded.
Now it's recorded.
Yeah.
And
so you can blame me if it gets worse.
And
personally.
get your shots, get your vaccinations. I got my booster shot.
I also got my booster shot.
Congrats. I did make the mistake of getting my booster shot and my flu shot at the same time.
Also got both at the same time.
And I had a horrible reaction. Did you?
I had mine yesterday at 10 a.m. So you see.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my teeth were shattering and I felt like my skin was falling off. I didn't have a bad reaction the first time.
Mhm.
Second time, it was a little rough.
Sure.
But now I'm all set.
Yeah. I had 2 doses of the Pfizer and then my booster was Moderna. So maybe
My booster was Moderna
Oh,
and
okay.
my first 3 shots were Pfizer as well.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was the flu shot. Honestly, it could have been the flu shot.
And none of that's ever affected me adversely. I know it does to other people. You know, people get the flu shot and they're out of commission for half a day or something.
Yeah.
I've never had that, but I could always use it as an excuse to get off half a day of work or something. Maybe.
Upside to everything.
Upside to everything.
Well, we hope all of you are safe, and we are thankful for all of our listeners, and we want to thank you for listening to our episode this week. If you want to find me online, you can find me on Twitter at Andy Flory.
And you can find me on Twitter at WormCoilEngine. We want to give a special thanks to our producer, Ryan Nichols. Thank you for everything that you do. And to Chris Wolf, who handles all of our graphic design. Thank you for everything that you do. To all of those people in the States, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you get to enjoy it with friends and or family. To all those outside of the States,
Happy Thursday.
happy Thursday.
And maybe you'll have pumpkin pie on a Thursday.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm going to have.
I would like all the pumpkin
Apple's
pie.
fine, but if you are eating mincemeat pie, you can leave that at home.
I don't know, mincemeat pie at Thanksgiving sounds kind of weird. Because normally there's a giant bird being cooked in the oven.
So mincemeat pie is not actually meat. It's a bunch of fruits.
Why do they call it meat?
I don't know.
This is stupid.
Goodbye.